Welcome to another episode of Boomer and the Millennial. I'm Reggie the Boomer.
And I'm Armondi the Millennial. And today we're celebrating Father's Day with a special conversation about fatherhood across generations.
Joining us are two special guests, my brother and Armondi's uncle, Michael, a proud father of three daughters and a man who spent decades navigating the challenges and rewards of raising a family.
That's right. And my cousin, through marriage, Daniel, who is in the same season of life as me, a new dad, learning in real time what it means to raise children in today's world.
We'll compare notes on parenting, discipline, family values, and what fathers can learn from one another.
4 dads, 2 generations, 1 great conversation.
Yeah, well said. And I'm Reggie the Boomer.
And I'm Armondi the Millennial. And you know we are back at it like some crack addicts, boy.
On Father's Day. Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
Yeah, first
Thank
one.
you. I know.
Yeah, how you feel?
Good. I'm excited. I've actually been very excited for this for some weeks now, for sure.
Okay. Yeah. You get gifts and cards and
I mean, that's
cool
not
kinda,
why.
you know.
It's just kind of, it's the feeling, you know what I mean? I'm very proud to be a dad, very proud to be a girl dad at that. Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that.
Yeah, for sure,
At this point, it's getting gifts and,
Yeah, I know.
cards.
That's
I'm
real.
just
That's real.
I'm just...
That's real.
Oh, by the way, real quickly, I noticed that we are celebrating our 6th season. So,
With this episode?
yeah, with this episode,
That's
we
crazy.
started this during the pandemic in 2020. In May 31st was our first episode that dropped, and here we are, 6 years later, still doing it. So, what a way to
shout out to-
celebrate.
Shout out to us. Okay.
Yeah,
and shout out to all the listeners.
Absolutely.
All
All
the
4,000 of y'all. We appreciate the love, and we want to remind you to always like, share, and subscribe. So that we
Absolutely.
can build this community of millennials and boomers, hopefully.
There you go.
And speaking of that, we've got 2 guests, one on the millennial side and one on the boomer side, right?
Yep.
So we're going to bring them on in. Who you want to bring
Okay.
in first? You want to bring them both at the same time?
We'll bring them both in at the same time, I feel
All
like.
right, here we go. We're going to let everybody in. There's
All right.
Michael and Danny.
What's up?
Yo, how's it going, y'all?
Hey, guys. How y'all doing?
I'm doing great.
Good. Well, it's good to see everybody. And this is, I wouldn't say this is new for us. We were just saying that you all were in our digital waiting room. And I hope you all didn't have too many of the digital sweets and beverages that we have for you. But
Yeah, right.
right. But we were just saying that this is the beginning of our 6th season.
Yeah.
We've been doing this for 6 years. Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah, so
wow.
this is not just having this on Father's Day and having you guys on, but celebrating 6 years. This is really special. So
Yeah.
thank you all for being a part of it.
Yes. We are excited to have you guys. Yeah, it's crazy. We've been doing this for this long. Started during the pandemic, and we've been, going ever since. So
So for those of you who are listening on your favorite podcast platforms, we have Michael S. Jackson, who is my brother, Armondi's uncle, has seen Armondi kind of matriculate up to this point of dad. And and Armondi,
Yeah.
we have the millennial side.
yeah, we have my cousin Daniel Foster. I don't know what your middle name is, but yeah. You said what?
Foster works. Yeah, that's good.
Okay,
Foster
Foster
works.
works. Okay, good. Yeah, and so Daniel's my cousin through marriage, through Nia. Love him to death. I mean, he might as well be my blood cousin at this point. New dad. Really, we're in the same boat. So in the trenches right now. Yeah, yeah. I had to get Ava Reggie this morning. That's why I was running a little bit late. So, I'm actually surprised I don't have her with me. Usually she's on the podcast too because I'm watching her. So, but she actually has a play date today.
Okay.
So she's
Good for her.
She's with mom.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll love those going forward. I'm just gonna
listen,
say.
I'm like, take as long as you need. You know what I mean? So,
Well, we know it's for some of us, Daniel in particular, is early in the morning because he's on the West Coast. So it's 8 when we're in the morning when we're recording this, and Armondi's in Mountain Time, and so it's 9 for him, and then we're bringing up the rear in Eastern at
That's
11.
right.
So let's just start with the question. I guess it's for anybody who wants to answer. What was the moment you realized I'm somebody's father now? What was
That's a
that?
good question.
Thank you. Who wants to take that? I'm going to ask the boomer.
Yeah, the boomer in the crowd. You know what? You know what, Reggie, Armondi, Daniel, Father's Day and this whole thing about fatherhood, it's kind of bittersweet for me,
Okay.
because I have three daughters. I have three grown daughters now. That's
Wow.
something to be really proud of. But I tell everybody I have four kids,
Hmm.
and my firstborn was a boy, was my son. And he passed away at the age of 3. So every time we come around to Father's Day, I'm proud and I'm happy that I had three girls who came along after he passed away
Hmm.
to remind
Mm.
me of what, excuse me, of what fatherhood really is about. But when he was born, I never experienced anything as, I don't know, majestic. What's the word for it? I couldn't imagine that I could actually bring into being a creature,
Right. Right.
a little
Yeah.
boy like him. And then when the girls came, I realized I was a father and what fatherhood would mean when my son was born.
Yeah.
Wow.
What about you, Daniel?
Yeah, that
Yours is more recent too.
sure is. Yeah. Mr. Jackson, thank you for sharing that. That's powerful. I think I'm still figuring that out. I have days where I wake up and I see Mikey and I'm like, oh my goodness, he's mine. I'm responsible for that guy. The moment in the hospital when Mikey was born was overwhelming. I think back to that moment and how naive I was, even in that moment. I thought I knew, right, what was to come. I thought I had the feeling, and nothing could have prepared me, right, as they always say. So, yeah, I think it's helpful to be reminded, consistently, right, that
Hmm.
that's my child. I'm responsible for him, and I need to, be aware of that. So, every day is a blessing. But yeah, it's a discovery experience almost every day.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't remember quite when I realized I'm somebody. It kind of hit me because, Michael, to your point, birth is kind of surreal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm running around saying, is he okay? And why is his head mashed in? And they were like, well,
Oh yeah.
like, you just see where he had to come out. And I was
Right.
like, okay. So why isn't he crying? And I just, went around doing all these things. So I was like you, Dan. I was so excited and so just, it didn't hit me. I think it hit me when putting Armondi in the car, leaving the hospital. Then it kind of hit me like, oops, okay, now there's no manual. There's nobody coming home with me to say, from the hospital to say, okay, hey, we got this. We're working with you. It's on us. That's, I think, when it hit me that I am now responsible for this being that's sitting back here in this car seat. So what about you, Armandi?
Yeah, it's always crazy to hear the stories because you are my
Yeah.
dad. So,
No,
Yeah,
right.
because I am talking about you, right?
right,
You're
right.
right.
I would say, yeah. I mean, I think similar to Daniel and well, really just all three of you guys. I would say Willie in the hospital. Nia had a C-section, so probably like right after they pulled Ava out and took her over to like weigh her and everything, and before giving her to like Nia. And I was right there through it all, and just hearing her cry and just being like, wow, like, okay, you're no longer inside of mama anymore. Like you were here, and I can hear you and I can see you and touch you, and this is real. But it's interesting because I would say, like, I get a little bit of that every day. I feel like as she's growing, as she's developing, as she's learning and trying new things, I'm just like every day, just about every day, I just stop and I'm like, I cannot believe I am responsible for this tiny human, like, who now has a personality and does what she wants to do. And I see a little bit of myself and a little bit of Nia, and I'm just like, this is insane. So just about every day, I'm like, oh, wow, I'm a dad. I am responsible for this tiny human. So
Do you have any fears? Were there any fears about becoming a dad? And talk about how priorities were changed when you knew, oop, there's another person.
oh,
Yeah,
for me or just or
I'm
anybody?
just throwing it out there for
Go
anybody.
ahead, Uncle Michael, you got it.
yeah. Okay. No, I was going to say, I don't recall being fearful because I knew I was ready. I was ready to father a child. But what always amazed me is what Armondi said. It's like every day they change. In each child, for me, having four,
Hmm.
each child is an individual and they are each so different. And you can't raise one like like
Right.
they
There's no
are a
template.
clone of the other.
Yeah.
You
Right.
know,
Right.
Hmm.
you have to accept each child as they are. So for me, I always wanted to be able to connect with my daughters and with my son when he was alive. And I mean, I tried. It's hard,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
figuring out what's the best way to connect. That I guess that wasn't a fear, but that was what was challenging.
Yeah. Any priorities? Did you? I know
Any
things
change in
things change
priorities?
day to day, but just overall, did you look at your career trajectory, or were there some other things? Oh, okay, well maybe I need to do this instead of that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I suppose, and here's where the boomer versus everybody else, I, my, for us as coming along in our generation, for me, there wasn't this like, oh, I can do whatever I want to do, and I can, and I have to change. The priority for me was always get an education, get a good job, probably get married, have a family, and raise my family, and then we'll go off into the sunset. And
Right.
so there was no like a whole lot of changing our priorities. It was part of my
Yeah.
priority.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good point. That's a good point. I would say the same thing. I will say though, for me, I think priority wise, fearful, not really. I wasn't really fearful, like you said, Michael. If things are moving too fast for you to really be afraid. You just gotta
Yeah,
do what you gotta do. And I think at the time, sometimes parents, when they bring children into this world, they look at the state of the world.
yeah,
And
Yeah.
there's always issues, but at that point, I didn't really see a lot of that being fearful from me. I don't mean I didn't take opportunities, but I vetted them, weighed them a lot heavier than I would. Even if I was married and we didn't have kids, you have a little bit more
my point. Right.
movement, right? But when you have kids, you had a lot to take into consideration. So now, how about you guys? You heard the old timers. We've been there, done that. So what about
Yeah,
y'all?
yeah.
Fear, priorities.
I wasn't fearful. I tried to plan everything, right, to maybe even mask some of that fear.
Right.
Yeah,
And
that sounds like a millennial.
yeah, right. Let me tell you, it did not work, right? I had a script. I knew, how to plan it and where, get all the gear, all the safety precautions, have the house set up, all that stuff. None of it mattered, right? The funny story, right? We're in the hospital. I had this, being in healthcare, thought that I was going to use gloves and, this whole sanitary setup while changing diapers for Mikey, right? Yeah, silly at this point. In first diaper change in the hospital, right? And I have all this stuff with me. Doesn't go as planned, right? He had a
Right.
bowel movement. I'm changing him. He has a bowel
I
movement
know,
in the
right?
middle of me changing him. And like number one diaper change, right? Plans out the
Right.
window. So
Right.
yeah, I will say that those experiences did start to build a little anxiety in me, right? Because I thought I knew what was coming, and very quickly I found out you don't know what's coming, right? My wife and I had to have a lot of conversations about, we didn't think it would go this way, but we're going to support each other through this so that our anxiety doesn't just keep going up, right? We got to
Right.
be here
Yeah.
for each other so that we can be here for Mikey. And that really helped, with the anxiety. So as far as priorities are concerned, we love California, right? We talked about the time difference here. We enjoy being out here, thought we were going to stay here. Mikey got here, that changed, right? So
Oh,
now
really?
now
Okay.
is, how can we be closer to family, right?
Yeah.
We want Mikey to have his family involved in his life, and being on the other side of the country, it makes that really difficult to do. So as far as the jobs are concerned, like you said, Mr. Higgs, like really vetting, right? What's the next step? What does that look like, and how does that benefit Mikey? As long as we're stable, even if some of our maybe wants get pushed to the back burner, as long as we're prioritizing things that we believe is best for Mikey, right, then hopefully, it'll work out.
That's a good answer.
Armondi.
That's a good answer. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I was just scared. I was afraid. I was
You said,
You're terrified.
It's not even. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. We had a couple of false alarms, which were helpful. I think in regards to like, okay, getting to the hospital, kind of what the procedure sort of looks like, right? And then the day of, it was just like. You know what? It's so funny because I'm always like one of the biggest lessons I learned right off the bat is like parenting is pivoting. Like you're gonna have these plans, you're gonna have this idea, or you're gonna try to be prepared, and then something's gonna happen, and you're just gonna have to pivot. You're just gonna have to figure it out. It may not work to a T the way that you want it to. That was exactly like how it happened at the hospital. I think like try to get all the gear, try to be as prepared as possible, and you kind of just have to go with the flow almost. Like you can sort of be prepared, but things change and it requires pivoting. I was nervous for sure. Asking myself, am I ready for this? I mean, like obviously, yeah, but not really knowing what this is like. I don't have any small children in our family, so it's sort of like, okay, maybe through like Nia's family, okay, like you get an idea, but like I don't have any younger cousins or anything. Like I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Sort of like they say, like when they're born, something just sort of clicks. And I would say like the priorities change. I mean, for me, I used to really feel like, okay, how am I being perceived by other people? Am I an inconvenience? Am I in the way or whatever? And then now that I have a daughter, I'm like, I don't really care. Like she is my main priority. Along with my wife, and like as long as they're good, they're comfortable, I can take as long as I need. I can be in somebody's way. I just don't. Things just aren't as important anymore. We talk about profession. Like I was working at Starbucks. I guess I'm dropping this on the pod now because it is official. But like I put in my 2 weeks like 4 weeks ago, and I am now a full-time stay-at-home dad. God is good, and we're blessed to be able to be in that position. That's a new transition all in its own, which is, probably a lot for another time. But like profession wise, like 100% my priorities have changed. Like it's all about Ava now, which I'm not upset about, which is great. I think it works great for our family. But it's like things don't bother me as much as long as my family is good. So that's how I would say it's changed over time for sure.
And I will add too that you're not just a stay-at-home dad because you are working on your master's. So
I'm still in school. So
there you go. You know
So-
what? Let me add to that. As you were talking, I realized, Reggie, just like you. I mean, I was doing entertainment law. And I was practicing out of Philadelphia. And the one thing that my priority changed was I was considering moving to New York to practice entertainment. And when the kids came, when they started coming, I realized I can't go to New York. I can't take my kids to New York.
Right.
And I'm not going to LA. I'm going to practice entertainment from Philadelphia. That was practicing entertainment law in a city that's not New York or California. It's a whole different, you have to, like you said, Armondi, you have to pivot. And I had to pivot in terms of my career and what I really wanted or how I wanted to do it.
For sure.
Yeah, I think that's interesting. And since I'm the only right now granddad on the call, I will say too that being a grandparent also changes your priorities because
let's hear that.
there's been talk about, we might want to look at Denver and get closer to the kids. So that whole thing starts bubbling up. I'm like, okay,
Ava will accept you with open arms.
I know. And so your mom's coming. Hey, we may need to be close to the ground.
Yeah.
Okay, we're starting down that road. So just know, Michael, too, that's something you can look forward to at some point.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, and Armondi, I'm going to start with you since you ended the last.
I got you.
Question. So boomers, we say you guys got it easy, and millennials say parenting is harder today than back in the day. So who's right?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I would say that like it's harder or easier. I think it's just different. You're living in a different time, like the country is different, what's going on around the world is different, and also the kids are different. Each and every kid, I mean, like whether you were born back then or, well, not back then, but you know what I mean. I don't want to make you guys feel old.
I know, right?
Yeah, we're old.
But the first generation of the first year of Generation Beta, right? Like Mikey and Ava. Yeah, I think it's just you just try to do the best that you can. Yeah, I wouldn't say that one is harder or easier. I would say, and it's interesting because this is also like kind of the next question, kind of like going a little bit into that. Like when you think about the technology and the things that you use for childcare, like every so often I'm hearing like, oh wow, I wish we had that when I was having kids, or I've never seen that before. Like which is kind of cool. Like it's kind of cool to like go out and like use these things that like I think. Like Nia, my wife's whole thing was like, okay, whatever we need to make our life easier, that's what we're going to get, right? So having a baby Brezza, which like if you don't know what that is basically a Keurig for formula, right? Like genius. It's great. You put the bottle under there, you hit a button, it's warm, it's however many ounces you need. You can even use your phone. It's incredible, right? Yeah, I was just talking to Nia actually about like, I was like, top 3 things that like Ava uses, you know what I mean, that I'm like, these are top tier, and I would suggest, like, we have a portable high chair that you can attach to any like desk, table. So when we go out to a restaurant, right, we have the stroller or whatever, and we could put her in a high chair that the restaurant provides or whatever, but we've been bringing this portable high chair that has like a little table on it. You just attach it to whatever table you're sitting at, and it's like she's sitting there at the table with you, and she loves it. And I'm like, this is genius because you can literally put it on anything, right? So stuff like that. I feel like in that regard, it could be easier now, but I mean, it just depends on, I think, you as a parent.
Convenience.
I would say like the biggest thing is just getting whatever you need to make your life a little bit easier. That's what I would say.
Yeah. What about you, Daniel?
Oh, Monty, come on, man.
It's
way easier.
Okay.
It's way easier today. No, I have to side with the boomers on this because to your point about technology, right? Yesterday I give an example, right? Putting Mikey to sleep, he starts hitting himself in the head, right? Yep. And he's a silly kid, but that's weird to me, right? Yeah. Quick Google search, right? Is it normal for a 10-month-old right away, right? The AI system tell, hey, in some cases, it could be normal. All right, my anxiety level right down, right?
Yeah.
Matter of seconds. So, I mean, we were out here. Kayla's mom is here. We have Mikey in the car. We got the swivel car seat.
Okay? Same.
And she's looking at us like, wow, you can turn that in. And I'm like, yeah, you can turn in the car. What do you mean? We didn't have that. And we had to angle and twist. And so, it's probably bad on your back, right? Technology has changed the game. It really has. And I think just from a standpoint of your mental space, right? When you're raising a child, and I'm very new to it, having all of these things to help, with all the gray areas of stuff that I'm not confident in, that I just don't know, like you said, from not having experience, having that technology to kind of fill in the gaps, it's game changing,
That's a good point.
So I also gotta, I love my millennials, but as a group, maybe not the most resilient bunch, right?
Yeah,
that's something that is very, the boomers definitely more resilient, right? So I think that resiliency certainly helps with raising children. I think that you and I got that, right? Just with the way that we were raised, but as a whole, the boomers seem to Mr. Jackson's point, right? They had that plan, right? I gotta do what I gotta do with my school, get myself right so I can take care of myself. It was a progression, and having children can really throw that off if you're not already kind of on a pathway to be able to provide for yourself. Now that you have to provide for other people, so I think generationally, I think the boomers had it pretty tough. So I'm definitely very grateful and thankful to mine for starting me on the right path.
Yeah. What about you, Michael?
Well, I'm hearing what you guys are saying, and it just reminds me when we had our kids. And I remember every step was like 15 different things you had to do. I mean, just given when the first baby came, it was okay, we have to take the bottles, we got to put it in a pot and we got to warm them up,
Yeah.
and boil the water. And you had to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning. You had to, we had it better than our parents because at least we had throwaway diapers. You could
Yeah.
you could take the diaper and throw away. They had to take the cloth diapers and get them clean.
Yeah.
In the car seat, everything going to the airport. If you were going to fly, I had to drag 3 car seats,
Yeah.
and all this mess. And so physically, it was a challenge having kids. But I wonder whether you guys are going to have it harder than we did as they start to age, because we didn't have with you, Armondi. I mean, it started to come, but the digital age, you were
Yeah.
kind of like right at the beginning of it. So we raised you without a lot of that in the early days,
Yeah.
and then like I have a Gen Z and she came in, it was all digital,
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
and our fear was keeping you away from all of that as you grew up, and now you can't
Nope.
keep them away from it. That's part of their life. So you have to kind of figure out. Now, the one thing I agree is that, man, the internet has equalized our society to some extent if you take advantage of it, because information is there for everybody. You don't have to sit there and wonder, like you said, Daniel, and with AI coming,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
there's not a question I don't ask. I ask
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
AI everything. Like, all right, so what should I be eating today? You know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that helps because we had nothing to. I mean, I had one. We may have had a couple books, right, Reggie, on
Yeah. I think that.
how to rear children.
Yeah, there was that thick book that everybody gave you when
Right,
they knew you were having a baby, and I think it
What
was called like you're
what
having a
takes
baby or what to
Oh,
right,
oh,
expect.
okay.
What to expect? Yeah,
When you're
when you have a,
expecting, yeah,
yeah,
that's
when you're
yeah.
expecting. It was that thick. That was the sort of
The manual.
Bible manual,
Yeah.
if you will. I mean, that was the resource, and it's funny because you get one at the baby shower or whatever. Everybody that ever was pregnant, the mother would get that book, and that's when I learned about Braxton Hicks, and because Anita went through that with you, Armandi, when she was walking
Mm.
around the mall, and she thought it was time, and they sent her home, and I was like, oh, that's Braxton Hicks, because I read it, and because
right.
the Hicks class, I read it in that book. But I will say this: we did have an information source that started with a G, and it was Grandma.
That's right.
Because yeah, so
Fair.
we didn't have Google, but man, we had
We had
grandma. So
grandma.
Yeah.
it was like, hey, picking up the phone, and what Nita was just telling me about your being potty trained and how your grandmother, her mother, said that we're gonna let him walk around the house without a diaper because he's old enough to know that
Oh,
you just
no.
don't go on the floor. And
Oh,
so,
okay. Did
and
not
it
know
worked.
that.
I
Oh,
was
okay.
like,
Oh, that's good.
you were like, where's what do I do now? And so we would put you on the little potty that went over the toilet, your little seat, and you sit there and you figured it out. But that was her thing. That was grandma. Now I don't
Yeah.
know, AI and Google would probably tell you a whole lot of sequences for
Yeah,
potty
they would
training.
not tell you that for sure.
Yeah, yeah. And I will also say about the technology, just from a grandparent's perspective, FaceTime is,
Yeah.
I mean, to have, Ava, for instance, she knows this is G-Paw in the box.
Yeah.
She has to get
Cheaper.
adjusted to actually
Right,
seeing me in person because
Yeah.
she sees
right.
me more on this thing. She reaches for the phone. Sometimes
Yeah.
Armando, you give her the phone and she's like, so she's already getting, her
Yeah.
acclimated, if you will, to this necessity. And she's like, oh, okay, I see G-Paw. This is the thing I use to see G-Paw. So
Yeah. And it's
yeah, you're
interesting
right.
when like you're in person and she like touches your face because she's like, "Oh, usually he's in the box, but
Yeah,
like now he's right here." Okay.
yeah, it's kind of
Yeah,
funny.
so
Yeah, yeah, but I think Daniel, I think you're right that just the innovation, the Keurig thing with the bottles and things being portable. I've seen some things in the airport that look like transformers, right? I mean, they're like compact and they break out into a playpen. I'm like, oh my goodness, where they come?
yeah.
We hauled
That's true.
around a big playpen for your behind when we would go on a trip. The car would be loaded down with just most of your
Oh.
stuff.
Well, don't get it
Um,
twisted. When we travel,
well, I know,
it's
yeah,
still
it's
it's
still a
still a
lot.
lot of
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Still
But
a
That's
lot of
yeah,
why
you're
stuff.
right.
that's why young people need to be new parents because you have got to be in shape
Yeah,
to move that stuff around and just be mobile. What do you feel that's something that fathers don't talk about enough?
that's a good question.
Well, let me say this because my oldest daughter is 33 now. The middle one is 30. The youngest is 26. So I have time to reflect. For me, I say this, I really believe this, that the hardest time of really parenting for me is when your kids reach adulthood. Right now, actually, it may seem hard when they're infants, but that's the easiest time. They rely on you. They can't do anything that you don't tell them, or they can't move, they can't go anywhere. They may aggravate you, but that's the easiest. And then as they're growing, you're guiding them, you're directing them. You still are somewhat in control, but once they hit adulthood, it becomes a different dynamic. You have to learn how to let your child go, how to let them make
Mhm.
their own decisions, even when you're
Mm,
looking at them and saying, "Oh my God, that's not the right decision. That's not
Right,
what
right.
that's not what they should be doing." You can't, and that's to me is the hardest part of parenting because I was all involved in everything they did, my girls did, even through teenage years. The other part is as they're also getting older and going through teenage, those teenage years, and then discovering themselves. For me, with girls, trying to figure out how to tell them and talk to them about the men and the
yeah.
boys that they would be
Hmm.
meeting,
Hmm.
and what to expect. So, what I decided to do was not so much lecture or talk to them about it, but just try to show them, what
Mm,
they can expect
yeah.
from a man, so that they don't just start doing things that they do just because other people tell them that's the thing that they should be doing. You want them to make up their own mind, and they only do that from what they see. I know that they look to me as an example of what they think a man should be doing.
Yeah, that's good. I'm gonna let the millennials y'all can bring up the rear here, but I'll go next. I'll go next. I think to your point, Michael. Really, the hardest part of parenting is I think when Armondi was a baby, was just getting him to go to sleep. But that's a whole nother.
Yeah, that's
That was
a
always a challenge. I mean, you had that I want to stay up gene.
And
Dan, you talking about beating yourself in the head. Well, that was
boy has
I
it
didn't have
trickled down.
Google, but Armandi was, he was doing that and literally I would have to take him, put him in the car and ride him around the block until he just kind of fell asleep. That was always a challenge. But I think, there were I don't think there were any like hardest parts. I think there was always just making sure you were okay, that you didn't get into anything, that, you didn't drink anything that could hurt you, which you did at one point. You were a little older, but that's
Foreshadowing.
another story.
that's another
He's
one.
Yeah.
look, he's still here, so I guess it
Yeah.
wasn't too bad. But
Yeah,
I think that was kind of the hardest part, just being, on point, just knowing that I think sometimes I would say to myself, this person cannot be left alone at
that's right.
all. Maybe a little bit when they're sleeping in the crib or whatever, but for the most part, when you're awake, I got to have eyes on you. Somebody's got to have eyes on you, until
Yeah.
you go to school or whatever. And that to me was kind of daunting. You kind of just work through it. I think we, as fathers, don't. I didn't really talk to anybody about parenting or anything. I just kind of did what I did, and we got through it. I don't think we as men, as fathers, talk enough. I know boomers, we didn't, right? We didn't really have group chats and stuff like you do, excuse me, on Facebook, the communications of people posting stuff on Facebook saying, oh, given their situations. We didn't
Or
have any
or
of that
or
connection.
Reddit.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
we
was about
didn't.
to
We
say
didn't.
you kind of date
And
yourself a little bit with the
right, and
Facebook, but yeah.
your partners didn't want to, your partners that didn't have children, sure enough, didn't want to hear anything about what you were going through with a kid. They weren't trying to hear that, and the ones that had kids were like, I got my own issues. So
I got my own.
right, we didn't really. As a matter of fact, this might be the first time that I had a real discussion about fatherhood since I've been a father is on this podcast. So no, we
which is
didn't. We didn't
crazy,
really.
by the way.
Yeah, well, I mean, we talked. How your kids
Yeah. I
doing?
mean, yeah.
We talked about kids going through stuff and that kind of thing. More of a listening ear than really trying to figure it out together. But yeah, it's not we didn't talk about kids, but not at the level I think that maybe you guys talk about parenting. I don't know.
Yeah.
You can tell us.
Oh, go ahead, Daniel. I'll go after you.
Yeah, yeah. I would say absolutely right. If anything, we may overshare at this point, right? Yeah, it's incredible how
That's
that
good.
dynamic has changed. Even to the point of a podcast like this, where space is created to have the conversation, is very different, right? That wasn't the case before. I think there's pros and cons though. To be completely honest, so obviously the pro is community, right? And in shared experiences, you don't feel like you're alone in it. You have people who can relate to your experience and kind of get there right with you. One of my good friends says he's on his fourth kid now. I text him all the time. Hey, is this what do you do about this? Or, we have a trip coming up to Huntsville in September. And I'm texting him, how did you do it? Right. He's 10 months. What do I need to know? right. What airline, what tickets, all of that. So it's certainly made a lot of things less stressful. And going back to just that mental space component, anxiety isn't as high because, we got people we can ask and kind of lean on. The flip side of that, though, is with the oversharing, I think in our generation, there's also a lot of criticism, right? Whereas before, everything was kind of private. So, you got your thing over there, we got our thing over here, and we do our thing separately. Now that there's so much sharing, it's also invited a lot of other opinions on people's lives and their situations without really being in it and knowing, what's there. And I think that can be also very damaging because then we try to change what we're doing to fit this narrative that's out there, as far as how it should be done. And that's not, the case. Like Mr. Jackson said, every child is different. Every situation is different. There's no one size fits all. So having all of that in the internet space, you have to turn it off, right? You really have to get back into your silo sometimes and say, this is what we have going on. This is our decision. We have to do this our way. And let other people have the freedom and space to do things their way. So yeah, I think pros and cons, but I think for us as millennials, it's definitely more space for talking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Armondi?
I would agree. I would certainly agree. I think something that doesn't get talked about enough, I think, is it's okay to not have it all figured out every step of the way. I think as men, right, as husbands, priests of the home, all of that, you want to, the idea is that we're supposed to have it all figured out and have a plan and have it mapped out and know which direction to go at all times. And, we got people depending on us and everything like that, which is cool. And, sometimes it's like that, but there are also times where it's just tough and we don't have it figured out and we're figuring it out in real time. And sometimes we mess up and get it wrong. And, as a man, sometimes that can be hard to accept, especially as a father, you're all right, now I have even more responsibility. I have to be on my P's and Q's. I have to have everything, everything tight and organized and a specific way. We don't get an opportunity to hear it's okay if it's not like that 100% of the time, because it's not going to be. We're figuring it out, especially if this is your first child. There is no textbook. There is no, you can, thankfully you can pull things from here and there and different people. And to Daniel's point, it's a double-edged sword, right? You really got to be able to take what works from other people and advice and everything, and then just leave what doesn't. But again, sometimes that gets blurred with opinions, and people sometimes, people are critical of the way that you're parenting, and it doesn't even concern you, but okay. But I think something that I think sometimes dads need to hear is it's okay if you mess up. It's okay to not have it all figured out. As long as your child is safe and you're doing the best that you can, that is enough. Because sometimes that's how I feel. I don't always have it all figured out. Something that fathers don't talk about enough is like, hey, it's okay to not have it all figured out 100% of the time. It's okay to try different things and have things not work. And you, like I said before, you got to pivot.
Yeah. So I have one more question for the fathers.
Okay.
What's one piece of advice you would give to new fathers listening right now? What would that advice be? Michael, you want to go?
You know, I guess I would say to new fathers, take seriously your role as a father. That's all I can say. Just take it serious. I mean, you're not going to be perfect. You're not going to know everything. Heaven knows whatever you decide to do, your children are going to love you regardless, as long as you take it seriously, as long as you take the fact that you're a father seriously. Because having a baby, right? They always say having a baby doesn't make you a father. It just
Right.
makes
Yeah.
you a donor, you know.
Right.
But you know, to be a father is a serious. I think about it all the time with my girls. Sometimes, you know, you don't even realize it till years later. You hear them say something about something that you did or said that it was almost like a throwaway. It was just something that you just said, but it resonated with them. You
Hmm.
know, and it may even become something that they held on to for a lifetime. And you're like, dang, you
Yeah.
know, I really mean something to this little human, you know.
Yeah.
And so to me, that's it. Start from the very beginning saying, you know what, I'm serious about being a father.
I think that was another question we didn't get to was, 20 years from now, what would you want to have happen? And I think that, and I'll take the next question and we'll give it to the millennials. I think that's very important is to understand that as a father, your kid, your children, they're watching you, they're listening to you, they are absorbing your personality and how you do things. And I see it in Armondi. I mean, I'm the kind of person that will hold the door for someone, make sure that other people are okay, and I can see that trait, Armondi, in you. Almost sometimes to your mom's, she's like, you can't be running up to white women opening the door because you
I
got to
know,
run right
right?
Yeah, even now, like I'll hold the door for people at the gym. Nia's like, all right, like
All
you know what I
right,
mean. I'm
Yeah,
like,
right.
this is more people coming. Hold on, like So
so yeah, much to your mother's chagrin, it's like okay, but Michael, to your point, I think just understanding that even when you don't think that they're not watching, they're not listening, they're not understanding, they are. And I think you need to, for new fathers in particular, just know that they may not, but then they may. So I think being the best role model you can be, but understanding you're not perfect. And for them, as they grow older, they'll know that you're not perfect
yeah, they'll figure
when
it out.
they'll figure it out, and I think be honest about the fact that, yeah, when they start asking you questions, well, that part of my life was not the most, I made some stupid mistakes.
Right.
Hopefully, you all won't make the same mistakes. You and your children won't make the same mistakes. But to Michael's point, at some point, you just have to say, all right, you say, okay, I'm just going to pray on it. Hopefully, you'll get through it. And then it's going to be a just learning experience for you because I've been there, done that. And we all have them as parents. And you will have them with your kids too. So, what about you, Daniel?
Yeah, I think I got two things right real quick. The first one to Mr. Jackson, Mr. Hicks, your point, the honesty, right? I think one of the best things I can do for Mikey is to share with him my experience, and without filter, without analysis, just this is what it is. This is what it was for me, right? And it's going to be something different for him. That's everything that I got, right? It is what got me here, who I am, what I'm about, sharing that with him and letting him come to his conclusion and shaping his own self as he grows. That's something that's really important for Kayla and I is to be honest with him. So I would say for new fathers, right, they're gonna figure it out, right? Like you all said, they're gonna figure it out. So if you at least we're hoping, because we're new, that if we start with honesty, it'll create an open communication. So Mikey knows this is a safe space, that we're his parents, we love him, but we're gonna allow him to know who we are, so he can make the best decisions, hopefully for him and his future. The second thing I'll say is save your money. say the with all the things that we can buy now, Mikey has a living room full of toys. You can see a lot of this junk behind me. Living room full of stuff. He'll play with a water bottle for an hour. Okay,
Right.
we could have saved so much money. Now he's walking, so he's into, of course, everything that he shouldn't be into, and doesn't care about any of this stuff. He doesn't care about any of it. So, hindsight being 2020, next time around, God willing, we're gonna keep a lot more money in the pocket.
Yeah, because
right.
Armondi would play with the box and not the toy.
Yeah.
And also play with pots and pans. Just like,
yeah.
Whatever
Loves
works,
banging on
honestly.
pots and
Whatever
pans.
works,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's a good point. What about you, Armondi?
Real quick, because I know you gotta go, Uncle Michael. I would say, save your money is definitely a big one. Again, I can't stress it enough. Like, parenting is pivoting, and it's okay to pivot. It's okay to try something, a bunch of different things until you find something that works, because every kid is different. And I think as long as you have your child's best interest in mind, and like Uncle Michael said, you take it seriously, right? Then you'll be okay. Just try different things, even if it doesn't work out, even if you are hard stuck on, well, this is how I was raised, or this is the advice that I got. Like, it's okay if it doesn't work out. Like, there's something out there that will, for your child, I would say. And then also, second thing I would say is like, and this is kind of also to your point, Uncle Michael, about taking it seriously. I think it's easy to be very, very interested in what is going on with your child and what they have going on as they get older. You can, when they start talking, you can communicate with them. They go through elementary school, middle school, high school, college, and they're trying all these different things. But you can really start to see how your child is going to be very early on. I mean, those first, 2 months, they're not really doing too much. You can kind of see it a little bit, but like, Ava's 9 months now. And like, when I see just the things that she's into, the things that she's good at, the fact that she's persistent. Nia and I call her the persistent princess, because when she wants to do something, she's going to keep trying it no matter what. And I think like really locking in and paying attention to the early stages of like just being interested in what they're doing, like as long as it's safe,
Right.
Like cultivating that, getting them, to Daniel's point, you may get all these toys and they don't use them, which is real. Like Ava will, like you said, water bottle, she'll play with the cap from her bottle, and it's like, okay, you can start to see the things that they're interested in, the things that they like to do, that they gravitate towards, that you don't know how that's going to cultivate itself later on in life, but you can kind of get an idea. So even at an early stage, like, feed into that, pour into that, let them try different things, let them explore, again, safely, please, safely. Can't stress that enough. Because we're getting to the point where that's harder than easier now.
Right.
That's right.
But yeah, just lean in early on, and really like pour into the things that they're interested in, because I think that'll go a long way as they get older. So
Yeah. Great. Well, Michael, I know you
All right.
got to go, man. Happy Father's Day to you.
Yes,
Since
happy
this is
Father's
dropping
Day.
on Father's Day.
Thank you, everybody.
Enjoy
Thank
your
you.
day.
appreciate you for being here.
You guys have a good
Yeah.
Father's Day as well when it comes. This would be your first, right?
Yeah, for
Yeah.
Daniel and I. Yep.
Yeah. Appreciate. I mean, really savor it, because as one, like I said, my girls are grown. You'd be surprised how quickly, how fast it goes.
Yeah.
You'll be
yeah.
you'll be walking Ava down the
Yeah.
down,
Yeah.
down,
It goes
down the,
fast.
yeah, it
Especially
goes real fast.
yeah, I don't remember a whole lot about Armondi going through stuff,
Yeah,
from birth to like 2. It's all a blur.
That's real.
Teeth and all that stuff. I
That's
don't know
real.
now.
Yeah, that's
But
where I'm at
Ava,
now in Mercy.
now as a grandparent, I can say, "Oh, she's got 2 teeth." I
uh-huh.
can't tell you,
Yeah.
Armondi, when you got 2
Yeah.
teeth. I don't know. I
Yeah,
just
it's because you
Well, yeah.
erased it from your brain, the trauma
yeah,
and the lack of
because- right.
sleep. I get
Right,
it.
exactly. I'm just trying to get through it, but I'm like, oh, she's
Yeah.
got 2 teeth. Y'all like, get to the next one. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Mike.
Yeah, have
Thank
a
you,
good
man.
one.
Y'all have a great rest of
Okay.
your day.
All right,
brother,
happy
I'll catch you
Father's
later.
Day.
Happy Father's Day. Bye, guys.
Okay, thanks, man. All right, what a great show. Yes, so thank you to your Uncle Michael. Thank you to Daniel. Great perspective. Really, I'd say one of our best shows. A lot of good insight. We could have gone on and on and on. Maybe we'll do
Of
part
course, of
two.
course.
Get around the birthdays and everything because that's close. Happy Father's Day to you and all the fathers out there. Wish you have.
Same to you.
Thank you. All the fathers have a great day. Enjoy your day. Watch some TV. Eat whatever.
Chill.
Just
go
chill.
golfing.
Yeah.
They say that's
Yeah.
Top Golf's busiest day.
I
But we got
imagine.
our reservations.
Oh, okay,
So,
all right.
Yeah, we got our reservations.
Praise the Lord.
Yep. So we're good. We're good.
We're good to go. Thank you, Dangerfield Newbies, for providing our music for the show. We always appreciate you, and a shout out to Jamal. Happy Father's Day to you. We just want to encourage you to share, like, and subscribe to Boomer and the Millennial. Check out our website, boomerandthemillennial.com, where we have all the shows archived. Of course, we're on all the platforms: Apple, iHeart, Podbean, your favorite, Armondi.
Yeah.
I guess that's it, man. Just
Yeah.
enjoy your day.
Hey, happy Father's Day. Thanks for being
Father's
such a great dad to me, and
thank
such an amazing G-Paw to Ava as well, and an incredible father-in-law to Nia as well. Just want to take the time to publicly thank you for all that you've sacrificed and taught me, and being a great example of a father and a husband and just a man in general. So I love you very much, and I'm glad that we get to spend it together. So
Yeah, same here, and I'm proud of you. Seeing you as a dad and you with Ava, and she's going to be a daddy's girl. There's no doubt about it. But I can see the love and nurturing that's happening. So that's really nice to see. So I'm gonna let you get back at it.
yeah, like a crack addict.
You had a little respite. I know she's on a play date. So
Yeah. Let me go enjoy the rest of the time that I have.
Right. So until next time, I am Reggie the Boomer,
And I'm Armondi the Millennial.
and we're out.
Peace.